All right. We've got a big one. It's the quarterfinals. This man just made an amazing comeback. And now he's up here against Serral. It's a best of 7 match. This is Team Liquid's Clem. He's been looking fantastic, and he's been just dropping those fighting words all tournament long. He's been really just saying, you know, I am a beast and I am powerful.
Are you ready for this by baguette?
Are you ready for Taste My Baguette? Clem's English is actually kind of fantastic, but we're you know, he's nervous. He's playing Serral. He's stumbling his words. Down here in the bottom left side, we've got Basilisk Serral. One of the greatest players of all time. Many would say indisputably the greatest player of all time. But what do you have to say? He says, are you ready for his baguette? What do you have to say in response, Serral?
Winter is coming.
Oh, the Night King! Back in action. All right, guys. I think Serral's telling us, like the cold creeping down across the wall, I will come. My creep will spread. And I will be spreading the cold, raising the dead out from their slumber and conquering your land. It's going to be taking that third base up to the top left as well. Reaper coming in. For those who don't know, Serral has a 64% win rate versus Clem. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Already gets a Zergling kill. Ooh, even the drone tries to fight there. Oh, man. Guys, there is Reaper harass and then there's Clem's Reaper harass. Not all things are created equal in this world. Clem's Reapers are one of those things. Very conservative creep tumor placement. Oh, doesn't quite lose the Zergling at least. Good play by Serral. Serral has a 2-to-1 win rate, guys, versus Clem, which would make you think he's very dominant. The problem is, when it comes to the bigger tournaments, the bigger the prize pool, the more often Clem beats him, especially in the EU regionals for the big LAN events. When they do the online regionals, Clem smashes. Now, you might say, yeah, but when does Clem ever show up at LAN, man? He never beats Serral at LAN. Yes, but that's because they never play at LAN, because Clem dies to Korean Terrans and Protosses before he gets there. But it doesn't mean that he loses to Serral on LAN, it just means he doesn't beat the other guys that Serral does beat at LAN. So I really do think when you put $10,000 on the line, like in this tournament, you're going to see A-game Clem show up, scary Clem. And we've already seen in the previous series, he's very capable of mech play. He's got a 3rd command center on the way, starport finishing, looks like just a Hellion Banshee opening. And I really wonder, is he going to play mech? And if so, what's that going to look like? Because I think he looked glorious against Dark with his Battlemech. On the other hand, Serral's a completely different beast. I'm going to be honest, I think Dark looks sloppy versus Battlemech. I think he can counter it, but he relies on gambles. When it comes to just standard Roach defense, it feels like he almost always falls behind. I saw him, you know, very similar game to Jason in the Weekly Cup, where he was getting smothered by Jason's just Battlemech harassment. Serral, on the other hand, I feel like, man, he is so good at mech. Anti-mech play, Serral and Rogue were 2 of the OG guys that made mech look bad. If it wasn't for them, I think mech would have been a bigger part of the meta over the last 5, 6, 7 years. But Rogue and Serral, one in the Korean scene, Rogue, Serral in the European and the international scene, basically both just showed how to make it look like a silly composition and a silly style. And we'll see how that goes. Lair is on the way here at 4 minutes 30. Second gas comes down. That's a very crisp Lair timing. Link speed did go down. Nice creep tumor snipe, but no real big pickoffs. 1 Overlord, 1 Zergling. Nothing to write home about just yet. Banshee gets spotted. Perfect Ring of Vision here by Serral. It's bio. All right. Hellion Banshee into bio play, guys. I'm happy to see it. Now, I've talked a lot about how Clem prefers tanks more often than Widow Mines. I'm a big believer. You give Clem Widow Mines, and he's a much more frightening player than he is with Siege tanks, because Siege tanks are slow, they're immobile, and you can't do any of that fancy micro, which is Clem's main strong suit. So I'd love to see him open up with very greedy biomine play in this first game, set the pace of the series, really put Serral on the back foot, and then if you want to play some more conservative marine tank play afterwards, go for it. But this map is going to be good either way. We'll see. Hellion's rotating to the north. 4th base looks like it wants to go up on that bottom side for Serral. Serral's going Spire! Oh me, oh my. Serral wants to get some control over the map and put Clem on the back foot. Clem historically absolutely dominates Mutas, and that's because historically he went Widow Mines every game. But guess what? Serral knows that this man is addicted to Siege tanks recently, and if he's building tanks, they are nowhere near as good against Mutas. On the other hand, I've still seen him just kill Muta players with his first Marine tank push, but it's not as powerful as a Biomine Parade. This is a big map as well, hard to get across. Not as much dead spaces on some other maps. So far, Serral's defense has been flawless. He's taken very little damage. Baneling speed is on the way. His upgrades will be miles behind, but that's just one of the things that you have to accept. And Clem, I mean, he's still going around trying to clean up this creep, but it feels like Serral is on point. He's just got the queen split. He's respreading constantly. Banshees come in. 3 drones, 4 drones go down. That was really good play. Cleared the creep at the front. The queens moved forward to stop the Hellions. Banshees came in to take advantage. Clem catches some Zerglings over there. Very quick second factory as well. Wow, very nice. Already got a second factory on the way, so he's going to go reactor on that bad boy to round out his production. Serral taking a 7th... Wait, is that a 7th gas? Oh, interesting. He's not playing 6 gas. He's playing 7 gas. Going to allow him to both build a lot of mutas and go, of course, into the double upgrades in the near future. Evo chambers still haven't started at 7 minutes into the game. I got to question that. Feels like Serral's incredibly committed to crushing this first fight and then maybe counter-attacking for the win. Clem does not know about the mutas. Baneling speed is done. Serral's a little light on Banelings though. Only 4 out, 5 more morphing right now. Clem does not have combat shields. 1-1 is about to kick in. Oh man. 1 Baneling falls. The queens are holding the line for now. The mutas trying to sneak their way around this army. Still no Evo chambers on the horizon. Armory's about to finish, which means 2-2 will be coming. The reactor is building on that factory. No 4th command center just yet for Clem. Clem's kind of holding position out here. The mutas are gathering up, and they are going to look to pick off the siege tanks. Clem doesn't know about it yet. Oh! Quick reaction. Saves the siege tank. Oh! 2 mutas for a siege tank. 3. And if Clem just runs away, that's the best play. Get out of there, Clem. Oh, he's so wise. He immediately pulls back. The drop on the north also has to get out of there. Serral needs damage because he knows right now he's down 2 upgrades, and that's getting worse. +2's already on the way here for Clem. Oh, great surround, though. Can he get the full medevac? He's focusing the wrong one, but he's forcing these Marines to unload on the retreat. Serral gets some good pickoffs there. Units lost tab, still though, looking good for Clem. Serral's up to 76 workers. His 1-1 upgrades do start at 8 minutes and 17 seconds. +2 armor did not start for Clem. He realizes and starts it now. Great awareness. The French player, he's coming forward. He's got Widowmine starting to rally in, and he realized, oh my god, he's just gonna shove? You mad dog. Clem, so confident. So confident with his push. His army's so deep on creep. I think Serral should set up a flank with his Ling Bane. If he can come from the right as well, I don't know if Clem can escape. Muta's going to go across the map. They'll catch the Banshees out. If the Banshees quickly cloak, they could survive. Clem, not quick enough on that. Both Banshees go down. 4th base is exposed. He's got a bunch of Marines that will stem down there. 3 SCVs go down. Those Mutas can rotate. Serral's doing well with this, but I feel like Clem can just spread a few Marines into this base and force Serral to fight him. These Mutas desperately trying to pull his attention away. Serral may have to give this base up. That might actually be the winning decision. If he counterattacked with most of his Lings and moved his drones to the south, I think that's a winning play for Serral. But Serral... Oh! Boom boom! Oh my lord! The Widowmine's putting all the Mutas deep in the red. Big boom booms for Clem. He sets up a trap on that 3rd. Massive play for him. If there was 1 more Widowmine, he would have killed about 8 more Mutalisks. Because of their instant regen, they were able to survive on 1 hit point. But they have been diffused. Serral is going to try and break this push. A lot of Banelings got stuck on that tank and taken down. And the Marines survive. And they're reinforced coming from the other side of the map. Clem is large and in charge, feeling that momentum. Feeling that momentum from what happened earlier on. Oh my god, what the heck? Those Marines are just stimming in for the win. He says, you know what's good in StarCraft? The man with the drugs and the gun. These boys are injecting and their trigger fingers are itching right now as they charge into battle. And that was a very nice victory for Clem. Absolutely 0 fear and 0 hesitation. He takes map 1.
How does that baguette taste?
Ooh, fighting words. All right, that was a dominating game 1 victory. Went as planned, but I would say if there's one thing that Clem is a specialist at, it's just straight up killing Mutalisk players. Team Liquid's Clem in that bottom right side of Babylon. Serral in the top left side, going for a pool first opening. Gonna look to put a little bit of pressure on Clem early on here. Going to be a small map. Clem winning that first map on Serral's map pick is a very good start to the series, but this is a best of 7. There's a big chance, of course, for it to go back and forth. And the first few maps are usually the player's best, but I'm going to give you guys a little tidbit about Serral. Never be worried about Serral losing his map pick, because more than any other Zerg player in ZvT, he is a massive, massive fan of losing the big macro maps that are meant to be Zerg favored and then winning the cramped maps that are meant to be Terran favored. There's something, I don't know what it is. He kicked butt on Beckett. He had such a high win percentage on Beckett Industries, one of the smallest maps we've had in the last few years. Submarine, really high win rate. You know, a lot of the small maps, for whatever reason, Serral is actually he always says, oh, you know, I don't really like this map. I'm not that good on it. And then you look at his win percentage, you go, well, maybe there's something psychologically where he's like extra on point because he's aware that he's at a disadvantage from the start and that like makes him play better. The Urubu is there, by the way. There's 2 Urubus on this side of the map. For those who haven't heard about the curse of the Urubu, oh, he gets the SCV. He will lose the Zergling eventually, but still worth. The curse of the Urubu. Every player that we've seen in this tournament and the last few months, honestly, since this map's been out, that's killed the Urubu has then gone on to lose the map. We call it the curse of the Urubu, and we're going to keep our eyes and check in on that. If we see Clem just randomly decide to kill one of these Urubus, I guarantee you he loses this map. Goes past this area, doesn't go past the Urubu, so it looks like it's okay for now. Third command center does come down, and looks like Urubu, who are you? Urubu, please don't shoot me. The Urubu is a mystical creature, I'm telling you guys. If they both kill one, we haven't seen that scenario yet. We did see Skillis kill the one on his side and then go across the map and kill the one on Maru's side of the map as well. Definitely tempting fate. Ling speed, not too badly timed. It's definitely not super quick though. He's really skimped on the Zerglings. Has Serral, I like it. Oh, second barracks follow up. So Clem's gonna skip the starport here. This build could be a little vulnerable to some stuff because you don't have the Banshees, like a very quick roach push, like really fast. But that would be one where obviously the roaches are already building at this point. Anything later, like a Ravagerling at 5 minutes, is gonna just get smashed because there's gonna be so many Stim Marines out anyway. Reaper's gonna jump into the main. Zerglings do block it. Nice move by Serral, not letting him get any scouting info. Hellions poking at the front, but not able to get too much info just yet. 35 drones for the Zerg, 29 SCVs for the Terran. The third orbital command center starts, and Serral, oh, he's a cheeky boy. He loves to slide that Overlord in the back door. I remember when he played Rainer's Protoss on, what's the big map that had the gold base and the minerals you could mine? I just remember he snuck an Overlord in the back and basically saw Rainer's cheeky 2 Stargate Phoenix transition, blind counted it. Well, not blind counted it, but Rainer didn't realize it was scouted, so he committed really hard, got completely hard counted by a Nydus all in. I just feel like Serral's very good at sneaking the Overlord along the back early without his opponents realizing, so very good execution. There we go. Lair does start up for Serral. Lair second gas, very safe follow-up, but I imagine we're going to see Hydraling Bane. Hydras did get a slight buff in the last patch, and in general, it's just a good solid way to control the map, a style which really matches Serral's pace. I actually believe that playing 4-gas Massling Bane is one of the best things to do on a small map like this. Clem is characteristically aggressive. One of the best counter builds to Clem is to stop at 60 drones. Don't drone your 4th base mineral line up. Have an abundance of Lings, because you know when his first Stim medevacs come across the map, if you can backstab his natural with Ling Bane, his third with some Zerglings, you can get really big damage and slow him down massively, and only then drone your 4th base. Now in this scenario, of course, he's dealing with such a quick medevac pressure. Serral can't really think about doing that just yet. It's just defend. But maybe after the first 2 medevacs, maybe a little bit later, he can start thinking about that. For now, third barracks is on the way. 1-1 upgrades are far ahead for Clem. You can see they're both already about 20 seconds underway. The Evo's just now starting for Serral, and they're starting at his 3rd base. Oh god. Oh, Lord have mercy. Now, he's obviously doing that because he had extra drones here. So he says, oh, I've got extra drones. Might as well use them, not mess up my mining. But, I just can see that Evo chamber getting sniped at some point in this game. I'm paranoid about it. I mean, to be fair, Serral's base layout relies on him defending that area with basically everything he's got. He's in huge trouble if that goes down. But pro players and compromised upgrade structure positioning is something that seems to be a match that we see more often than I'd like. Serral's going Infestation, guys. He's playing Ultras. Serral's either rushing Ultras or rushing Lurkers here. I'd love to see Ultras, personally. He's playing 5 gas. He's playing a super heavy Ling Bane style. He's going to completely skip Hydras or Mutas. It's a very different style to the previous game. Fantastic adjustment by him. On the other hand, Clem, he's got a 4th and 5th barracks. Doesn't quite have the gas for the reactor. 2nd factory and a 5th gas goes up at the front. Oh, good transfuses for Serral. But don't want to be running slow Banes towards Clem's Stim Marines, mate. So far, no real significant damage. And if he can break these rocks, that would be big. Oh, very nice. He gets a Hellion and a Reaper and then just backs off, but he's off creep, and that's a little dangerous, but just enough creep to slip away. If Serral can get creep out in this area, he'll be good. But right now, there's a tank and a big pack of Marines. Hive has started. Serral's rushing that Hive like crazy. He's got a 5th base in the top. He could transfer workers there. We'll see how we go. Marines, Hellions, and a single siege tank marching forward. That tank maybe not in the best position. It's okay, but I'd love to see it up on that ledge there or down here. Ling Bane looking for the flank or the backstab here. That sensor tower coming up. We'll spot it in about 20-30 seconds when that finishes building. The question is, can he get it up in time? Queens are off creep right now. Serral's looking for a Sanger. He's trying to bait Clem forwards. The Ling Bane coming in for the sandwich right now. Queen Ling Bane from all sides. Clem with a very nice pickup, saves almost all of his units, only really loses 1 tank, and he says, okay, no worries, we're out of there. But this allows Serral to respread creep, and that's the most important thing. He needs the creep out here to buy himself room. 2-2 starts for Serral. He was way behind on the upgrades. Guess what? +2 only just started for Clem. Clem's losing a bit of momentum here. Tries to shove the middle. Gets caught out by the Ling Bane. Serral playing a very, very powerful controlling style. He's trying to take the wind out of Clem's sails. Clem will not have any of it. He goes for a YOLO boost forward. Pulls Serral's whole army out of position. Serral is not expecting this. And a dive in the south at the same time is going to catch him out. Serral tries to split his units, but he doesn't do it in time. He needs to evacuate that base. He does not have enough banelings down here. The tanks are in range. Serral needs to evacuate. He cannot take this fight. He does not have the numbers on the south side. He's going to go for it, though. Clem baiting him. The hatchery goes down. Oh, my lord. This is a crazy fight. The Marines picking up. He was too deep on creep. The Lings will clear the tanks out, but Serral does lose that hatchery. Adrenal Glands is on the way. Is there going to be Vipers? I mean, against siege tanks, you do want Vipers, but they've been trading. I think it's way more important for him to get an Ultra Cavern, but he's under pressure. The Queen's trying desperately to hang on. Transfusers, amazing transfusers from Serral. Those Queens hold the line. Where is it? Where is that Ultra Cavern, guys? I feel like he's going to need something like that. Against the Biomine, Ultras would be a big turning point. It's pure Marine Mine right now. He's going to go Viper. Worst unit you could go against Biomine. Zergs are addicted to Vipers, and it's a good unit for parasitic bombing the Medivacs. It's going to do nothing versus the Widow Mines. Clem has completely swapped into a mobility style. He's read the play correctly. He said, you're playing pure Ling Bane. I just need more mines, more Marines. Clem is all over Serral right now, and Serral doesn't have any tech that's going to turn this around. Ling Bane is not going to be able to catch up against this comp unless he gets an amazing fight. Clem does lose 3 Widow Mines, 5 Widow Mines deactivated without any big shots getting off, but he's attacking the south at the same time. Those Banelings aren't finished morphing. Ling Bane re-engages on the north side. No Widow Mines left. Finally, Serral clears this position on the south side. It looks like some of his Banelings did finish morphing. Serral hanging on to 5 bases. He's clinging on for dear life. He gets 2 more Vipers on the way. He's trying to go 3 Vipers. Vipers will slowly whittle down the Medivacs and be incredibly cost efficient, but they won't do it quickly. That's why I'm worried that he doesn't have any Lurker Tech or Ultra Tech on the way. And now it's a bit too late to do it because 8 barracks is coming in, extra command centers, 5th one's building and stuff. So I feel like Clem will start that ghost transition. He's accidentally queued up a Cyclone. That's a misclick. That's meant to be siege tanks. He's queued up 2 Cyclones, guys. Oh, that's a very unfortunate misclick. Parasitic bombs going down here, but oh, he loses a Viper. Unfortunate there, and you see how it's just not high impact, the parasitic bomb. It damages and slowly hurts the Medivacs. It doesn't kill him quickly. And here we go, Ling Bane in the south trying to defend, but look at that Widow Mine spread. He's got a massive arc of Widow Mines, a line of them. Good splits on the Zerglings, though. Serral's micro is out of this world. Anyone else would crumble under this much pressure from Clem, but Serral is in his face, launching counteroffenses, trying to break these positions. Watch out for the boom booms. Good deactivation so far. That one got a big hit, though. 12 Zerglings do go down. A few more Zerglings up there, but he clears the position. Can Serral respread creep, though? His creep is stalled out in the bottom and the top. On the bottom, in the middle and the top, sorry. On the bottom, it's been completely pushed back. Clem is maxed. Clem is gathering another push. He's now got 4 Marauders building at a time. He's forgotten concussive shells in this game, in the heat of the action, playing at this blistering pace. Serral's trying to go for a Hydroden now, but yeah, 3 gases and a Hydroden. He's trying to get that Hive Tech transition. He's on only 74 workers. He's going to go back up to 80 with 6 more workers. Serral's broke right now. He doesn't have a lot of money. He needs some flawless engagements. Widow Mines decide to turn on their own and kill a few Medivacs while hitting those Banelings. The random misclick Cyclones would be so much better if those were siege tanks. But, oh, plenty of Ling Bane. The Widow Mine gets defused once again. Another parasitic bomb, but Clem immediately spreads. And I'm telling you, these Vipers just aren't finding value in this game. Ling Bane coming on forward, trying to engage. Units lost tab, 4,000 in favor. A backstab would be massive right now. Anything to pull Clem's attention away. Serral finally finds the numbers and does it. Clem continue to advance on the front. More parasitic bombs though. Nice play. Immediate spready though. God, Clem is far too quick. That is not fair. That's an illegal move, mate. Liberator and mines up there as well. 5 mines, 2 libs. If you could clear this would be massive. Some abducts on the libs into those queens would be huge. Does take him out. 15 SCVs go down in the natural. The depots get taken down. Clem is amazing on offense, but he has always been lower on defense. We had these cards at the World Championship. For those who didn't watch it live, Clem had like 94 aggression or something rated, like really high, one of the highest. His defense was like 80 or something, or 78. It was one of the biggest differences between 2 stats that any player had, and that was rated by the other pro players. And I absolutely agree with it. If Serral can keep hitting him with those surprise backstabs, it's going to take the wind out of Clem's sails. This bought him a little bit of room to breathe. He's trying to get his carapace. He's hanging on. Serral is surviving right now, but he's still in a very fragile position where a few good Widowmine hits could end everything. Serral's face is just a picture of intense focus right now, but he's making Clem also look a little bit stressed there. Ooh, okay, Widowmine hits, but it also splashes the Marauders. Looks like a decent engage for Serral, but man, it's not that efficient. Ling there does defuse the Widowmine. Perfect spreadies from Serral, deactivating those. Perfect spreadies from the Medivacs, of course, deactivating the parasitic bombs. Both players defusing each other's splash damage and not allowing it to be impactful. Feels like when you use splash damage in this matchup, it's more about making the other guy do an action rather than getting actual damage. 5th base is up for Terran. 6th base is established for Serral, and he's transferring workers there to maintain that mining. He's got a single Infestor on the way. Burrow as well. Burrowed Infestors are the secret to late game. Serral's just saying, I'm going to play Lingbane Hydra. He's got Groove Spines. Augments will be coming in soon. Those Hydras will allow him to push back these armies a little bit better. But these Widowmines are still causing him troubles. The Marauders up front are especially annoying to deal with. Watch out for that Widowmine. Oh, it does go down. Sets off the Banelings. That Widowmine gets a decent hit. Chasing him back right now. Serral has to pull back. Looks like a winning fight for Clem on the south. On the north, he also took out a whole bunch of Serral's units. Serral's got a handful of Ling Bane. That is not enough to contest this army. He gets a big Baneling hit in the middle, but it's not enough. The Medivacs will heal that up. Oh god, Serral has to pull his whole army to the north, and that leaves him very exposed on the south. Clem may have found an opening. He may have created a weakness, a chink in the armor. Serral has looked rock solid right now, but this is Clem's first map pick for a reason. It's a small map. Your bases are quite spread, and it takes bloody 2 seconds for Clem to walk from his base to yours. He literally can spit from his 5th or 6th base, and that spit is going to land on your base, and that's not good for Zerg. Zerg needs room to breathe. They need room to try and counterattack and backstab and keep these attacks off their back. But isn't this just the most classic Serral game where he's done 1 backstab in a 15-minute game and that's it? He's not focused on that. Oh, Clem grabs the Infestor, saves the units with the Medivac and pulls back. Serral says, screw you, it's time to get on the offense. He's going to try to take out this planetary, the Ling Bane, Blinding Cloud on the turret. The Hydras do take out the Liberator. Clem's going to have to go for the counteroffensive. That base is going to fall, as will the command center building next to it. Serral's Evo chambers are indeed in the open, as we predicted earlier, but there's nothing upgrading on them right now. He's trying to engage. Banelings, blow up those Widowmines. Oh, the Widowmines. I mean, a good spready from Serral, but a perfect spready from Clem. Serral being reset to 4 bases versus a Terran who has a brand new spanking 5th base in the south. This trade is going to favor Clem. Clem is also rallying to the top as well. He says army on the south, army in the top. Medivacs save almost everything. Widowmine does take down one of the Medivacs, and a parasitic bomb could do a lot of damage to take out some more. The random Spore Crawler gets a lot of damage. But on the top of the map as well, Serral sees an onslaught of Marines, and oh my god, it just feels like it's just non-stop, man. By the end of that game, you know Serral was feeling the pressure, and he's just feeling like, god damn.
Hey, leave me alone.
All right, guys. He is on the warpath from down earlier to absolute domination against some of the best Zergs in the world. Right now up 2-0. Can he take it at 3-0? It's a best of 7. The series won't be finished off easily. It's Clem. Representing Team Liquid in the bottom right side of the map. And in the top left side, we've got Serral on his map choice, Dragon Scales. Interesting, because a lot of Terrans do enjoy this map, especially against Protoss. But I really thought Serral would be more keen for perhaps Royal Blood, Neo-Humanity, Gresvin, any of those maps I thought, or Altitude even. He left Altitude to the 5th map. That's game 5 if we get there, guys. If Clem wins 4 games in a row, we don't even get to see altitude. I know Serral doesn't like altitude that much, but it's kind of wild to see a Zerg letting that one go. I think it really, if you look at that last game, we saw at one moment in the game, Serral had great success, and it was when he backstabbed Clem. And we've always said backstabs are the big weakness of Clem, but Serral has to play to his strengths as a player, and Serral's strength is not backstabbing, guys. Do you think this guy, you think he backstabs?
Winter is coming.
No, winter doesn't backstab. It doesn't sneak up on you. You're not like, middle of summer on the beach and then there's a blizzard. It slowly creeps up on you and freezes you to death. And that's how he likes to do it. That is exactly his whole motto. It's literally, I'm just going to fight you front on, slowly cover the map, and defeat you. And he was doing pretty well in that last game. But I do have to criticize the Lingbane into Viper. I don't know, man. It's hard. I think you could do it, but I think he needed to do a little bit more focus on backstabs. If you're going to play Lingbane, I think more about mobility, more about backstabs, and a bit more mineral income. Hive is very important. He had a good carapace timing. I'm obviously just trying to brainstorm here. I am by no means an authority compared to someone like Serral and what his strengths are. I think generally you just give him a bit more room to work with, and he's going to be able to actually face off against that aggression quite decently. The last game, Babylon, it just gets very cramped. Very little time to respond. A lot of ledges and areas where those Widow Mines were able to really abuse him. Third base is up. Clean opening so far, and my lord. Guys, is Serral doing a Nydus Queen Ling all in? This is an even faster lair than what Dark did. This is a super, like, there's no second gas either, so I don't think he's going mutas. But it's also crazy fast. Like, what? Yeah, I think he's Nydus Queen Ling all in, guys. Oh my god. This is going to be much more committed. Dark does it where it's very hard to read because he drones his third. Serral is not going to build more than 40 drones max, and he's probably going to stop here at 38. He might send a few fake drones to the third in the near future to try and sell the story. Clem's going third command center into Hellion Banshee. This is the build that's relatively weak to this. Serral going past 40 workers. He's actually droning more than I thought. Interesting. Nydus does go down in the natural. The Hellions dart in. They might be able to take it out, guys. They might be able to spot it, I mean. Ooh, okay, Lings are massing. Queens are splitting. Overlord coming in. He's like, this is a totally normal game. I'm just sacrificing my Overlord to see what tech you're going. Totally normal game, says Serral. Right now, Clem, I don't think he's got his hair standing on end. I don't think Clem realizes what's up. This seems like a business as usual build order. He's going to go into bio behind it. As he pushes the Overlord back, he builds the barracks in vision, so doesn't care about him knowing that it's bio. And that Overlord coming in from the far right. And it's, oh man, this dark space. The command center, will it spot it? Oh, he spots it! He spots it! The command center lifts and moves at the perfect time! Doesn't see it though! Clem is not watching his Hellions! They're not pulling back, they're not pulling back. Clem doesn't notice. Oh no! He has vision, but he has not noticed it! Oh, the Screech of Doom! And Clem, for the second time today, has Queens and Lings flooding into his butte base. Where? He's got to unload those Lings, surely. Serral, where are the Lings, buddy? He's only got 19 Zerglings right now. It's mostly Queens, not many Zerglings. He's also not got any Lings hitting the front. If he A-moves the front, they could do big damage. I think he was worried about the Hellions, but now that he sees the Hellions are home, he should start unloading. Interesting that he's dropped creep. The Banshees are going to get wrecked. I mean, how do you deal with the Queens? He's got trying to make Marines and Stim, but Clem just doesn't have an answer. The Lings flood in the natural. And Clem not looking happier there on that camera.
Get wrecked, nerd.
All right, guys. Well, Serral there with a fantastic all-in. Catches his opponent off guard, gets a freebie. If that Nydus got stopped from going up, it's a different story there, because then you can swap the factory, get a tank, get Marines, get some bunkers, and just try to turtle up, but Clem did not notice it. And, oh, he's going to go command center first. Okay, Clem's going to go CC first. Now, CC first is a pretty good build order. Thinking about how this plays out on this map's a pretty good map for 8 racks down the middle. So Clem might go CC first, and I think we might actually see like a spirit style attack from like a year and a half ago. Previous Katowice 2022. So that was a build where you basically go 3cc, but you don't actually build any workers for your third base. You just transfer workers to make it look. You stop at 48 workers. So when a Zerg sees 3 command centers, they always drone to like 75, 80 workers without thinking about it. That's just, so you bait them into that, and then you hit like the most disgustingly fast 8 racks because you don't have gases on your third. You often don't even make 2-2 upgrades. It's just like a 1-1 bio tank all in with an insane amount of bio. And it hits with so many Marine. Zergs are caught off guard because often they say, hey, I see 3 command center with Overlord. I assume normal build, and then I go from there. And this is actually a super quick third command center, guys. Third CC before gas. Oh my god, Clem! What is this, dude? What is this? Oh my god, dude. That is a ridiculous, ridiculous build. What the hell?
Terran OP.
I mean, it will be if you get away with this greed. Yeah, it'll look OP because you're going to have so much more stuff than him. Bit too much joy in his voice there as he goes for the 3cc gambit. Hopes he gets away with it. Fingers crossed. It's Serral. I mean, you're always going to get away with it versus Serral. Serral's a very conservative player. He's not going to flood Baneling, Ling Bane, Ravager Ling, anything like that. Any of those gamble builds would kill you. But Clem knows who he's playing against, and he's playing the opponent. I love to see him do that. Very clever on the strategy front. And Serral built 4 Lings as well versus a Command Center first, which is already not great because Clem doesn't play Command Center first very often. So he built 4 Lings expecting a Reaper. That could be 2 more drones. So he's already behind versus CC first. And if he, and he's going to come in, doesn't even see the gases mining yet. He's just like, oh, okay, it was CC first. The orbital's already finished and mining and stuff. All right. Serral doesn't realize just how ridiculous Clem's economy will be in this game. Apparently, Q pulled this build out against Raynor as well. I believe Raynor went and killed him, though, if memory serves. Oh, and it's mech follow-up as well. Oh, okay. The greediest mech build of all time. 2 factories coming in. It could technically be like Mass Widowmine drop transition, but nope, 3 factory. This is going to be full ground mech, guys. 3 factories, full ground mech. Rain is tilted in chat. He's like, stop reminding me of this game, guys. I love it. Raynor, of course, will be playing tomorrow in PiGFest, along with the likes of Showtime and Beyond, and another awesome player whose name's evading me right now. Actually, Kua. I think Kua's playing tomorrow as well. Another player who's playing tomorrow. Like, wait a second, we were just talking about him. Overlord is coming in here. Oh, you don't want to let him see the extra factories. Successful. He sees it. 3rd command said, oh, he knows. Oh, nice Overlord scout for Serral. Where's that roach farm, baby girl? Serral. He sees the build, and I think he's just like, okay, man. That's yeah, you know, you're trying to pull the wool over my eyes. Greedy build into mech.
Nice try.
No surprises. The Finnish player, the Night King here, drops a Roach Warren, drops a lair so we can get a quick Roach Speed. Roach Speed is absolutely essential against this build. Now, remember, there is a big weakness. There's no Starport. You can have a lot of Hellion Cyclone, but ramps are a big problem because you've only got so many scans available, and I really do feel like there's going to be a big issue with basically if he doesn't have Banshees, like backstabs are a problem. Anytime you flank and surround, you can come off creep without getting punished as hard. Whereas Banshees normally punish that, so it's a different dynamic. I also feel Serral is a god of destroying mech play, so I am so keen to see what this matchup looks like. Blue Flame and Magfield on the way, Hellions and Cyclones already pumping on out. There's 15 Zerglings, 8 Queens. Up 4 workers is Serral. And he's sneaking Lings around to make sure there's no easy 4th base getting down. He sends another Zergling in. Does get that cleaned up by the Marines at the front. No gases on the 3rd just yet. Interesting. I guess you're building so many Hellions here. And without the Starport, you actually don't need the gases on the 3rd that early. Okay, this build, now that dawns on me that you don't need to rush the 3rd base gas, I'm realizing just how much that beefs up the economic transition, because you're going to get enough minerals for a very early 4th command center as well. That's a really cool build order. I have a lot more respect for it now as I realize. Also, at 6 minutes, having your 3rd fully mining as a Terran player, the greedy opening. Oh, delicious build order so far. Burrows on the way as well as Roach Speed. I wouldn't be surprised if Serral tries to use some Infestors to deal with this. Oh, his Lings are going to get cornered. There's no way out here. Yep, he's just going to get a little bit of damage on those Hellions, but doesn't kill anything. Good trades for the Terran player. Looks like a Hellion drove in and died on that creep tumor. I was like, what am I looking at? Overseer sieged up on the edge of the base. He's going to keep scouting the changelings. Cyclones with some nice lock-ons, just getting those queens to waste some transfuses. Infestation pits on the way. The burrowed infester usage of Serral is next level, guys. And he's actually doing it from 66 drones right now. Roach speed is almost ready. He needs the roach speed. There's already 6 cyclones, man. Oh. Queens are starting to fall. 1 queen falls, 2 queens fall, but, oh, I think that was 2 cyclones he just got. Yeah, 2 cyclones go down. Nice transfuser, save a few of these units. He's got to split the roaches across. The roaches need to either backstab or they need to flank this army. Clem's aware of the threat. He's got marine spotters out there. Serral needs to hide these roaches. Oh, he gets spotted. He gets spotted. He immediately is like, oh, no, run back, run back, run back. Oh, God, Clem's marine and Hellion rotation spotted it. Good pullback by Serral there. The whole trick, guys, is the way I describe this, because a lot of people always complain this unit composition, Cyclone Hellion, it never gets hit. It just hits you, runs away, hits you, runs away. It's so unfair. Think of this as a fighter with an exceptionally long reach advantage. Think of this as someone who can punch you in the face without getting punched back when they keep you at distance. The problem is they're tall, they're frail, and if you manage to get a single good connection, they're going to go out easy. That's the way the Cyclone Hellion composition works. If you can flank and suddenly trap it up against the edge of the map or surround it, it takes so long to build, it's so expensive, and it's so fragile. Cyclones die so quickly to roaches and lings, they will go down ever so quickly. So notice, just by threatening on the map, Serral has kind of forced Clem back into a more defensive posture, bought himself a lot of room, and with that, Nydus Swarmhost is on the way. He's also got 2 burrowed infestors going out on the map that are going to be ready to pop up, ambush the army with fungal. Beautiful play by Serral. The Nydus Swarmhost as well is going to be really powerfully aggressive. He's hiding units with burrow. Serral is so good at ambushing. He cancels a Swarmhost that was about to pop. Oh, Serral does not want to give away the Nydus Swarmhost. So clever with that information denial. And Clem's just like, oh, cool, you don't have many drones on your 4th. This is really good for me. But he's about to hear the screech of the Nydus Worm. I think it'll probably start down here is where I'd imagine. Uh-oh. Oh, the Nydus is going to get spotted, though. Roach Ravager does get caught out there. And this Roachling needs to back off, but oh god. If he scans, he might be okay. If he doesn't scan... Oh! The Omega Fungal! Serral turns it up and says, oh my god! A brutal move, but not enough units to capitalize just yet. He's going to unburrow on the right side. He got a big Fungal, but the numbers of Clem... Oh my god, Clem!
Nice try.
Nice try, he says in response, and he absolutely just overwhelms. He doesn't matter, he's got so much stuff. His opening was so bloody clean. He's in such a good position. He is looking fan-bloody-tastic. Cyclones and Hellions are going mad right now, catching the Swarmos, diving in from all sides. Serral's finally getting a Locust Wave off on the natural, but he is under fierce assault on the front. I think he needed a few more Infestors spread around the map. Now that he's lost his Infestors, there's no more threat of the fungal growth, and that is a huge, huge problem for Serral. Oh, man. This is such good mech play for Clem. I never thought we'd see the day where Clem was an all-consuming mech player. I always thought he'd be a bio player for life, but the fact that he is putting the pressure on Serral is big. Serral not going to give up easily, though. He's going to break that tank line. 2 tanks go down. New Nydus Worm on the bottom side as well. He didn't get that many SCVs, though, but he did deny the gas mining. Clem's on 4 bases. Serral's on 4 bases. That's a good economy advantage for Clem. Here we go. Cyclones are just rotating around. Nydus Worm trying to go up in the main. The Cyclone will be able to deny that, but Clem, oh, he pulls his army to the north. Cyclones going to take out the Nydus Worm. 1 or 2 Cyclones do not die. They take damage. They do not die. Popping in the main would be a little bit of a crazy move. Serral's going to rein it in. He's going to tuck it in. He's not going to get over eager. Hives on the way behind this. +2 range is finished for Serral. +2 armor about to finish for Clem. Army there. Oh, he burrows just in time. Do we go for it? It's worth it. If he goes on the Cyclones, I think it's worth it there. Oh, Serral misses the opportunity. I think he might just be going for the backstab. He grabs 1, 2, 3. I think he should have gone for a bigger break there. He gets 4. He gets 5. How many? Oh, he gets 6, 7, 8. Yeah, these are very expensive Cyclones. Remember, that's a good trade for Serral. Even though he loses a lot of roaches, it's not the most beautiful trade. It's not the most elegant looking. Those Cyclones take a long time to rebuild. They're very expensive. Clem is also making building armor right now. Hive is almost finished. And Serral, he doesn't have the big gas bank, but his goal will be to get out 4 or 5 Vipers. Vipers hard counter this composition, because if you get 4 Vipers, you just abduct 8 Cyclones, kill them, go back, get more energy, rinse and repeat. And every time you do it, it's an almost free trade unless the Terran can somehow just overwhelm your entire army. Look at that. Another shutdown, a single Hellion. This Nydus Swarmhost is doing very little, which you might think is a disaster, but remember, this is not 16 or 20 Swarmhosts. This is just 7. This is a tactical Swarmhost squad that is getting value. It's being annoying. It's keeping Clem pinned, and it's buying room. The problem is what's Serral doing with that room that he's buying for himself? He's starting a Baneling nest. He wants to add Banelings because there's so much Cyclone Hellion. He actually can't get through it with just Roach Ravager. He needs Banelings to roll into this army to really punish it when he lands the Fungals. Oh, the Cyclone locks! You disgusting fiend, Clem! Shuts down one of the Infestors. The other Infestor runs backwards. A Fungal does come up from behind and land on some of those units, though. Serral will not be perturbed. Oh, he gets some good ones. Watch out, though. He's very good at catching those with the Cyclone locks, dude. This is actually a very, very competitive game right now. Clem's supply has dropped significantly. It's still the better supply, and he's got a 5th base getting established on the north. If he can get a planetary up there, that'll be good. Swarmos on the top, Roaches on the bottom. The Cyclone Hellion playing cleanup duty. Clem's cost efficiency is about even with Serral, but of course Serral is only on 67 workers. He doesn't have the money to make 100 Banelings here, guys. A Baneling transition is really good when you've got the economic advantage. Serral has very little creep, very little control on his side of the map. He needs to respread creep, he needs to take a 6th base, and he needs about 10 to 15 more drones, but he's got 31 Roaches, 7 Swarmos chewing up his supply. I also think he needs more Infestors, because if he loses those 1 or 2 Infestors, Clem can dive on him. And, oh, the Swarmos can't get in for some reason. I don't know what's going on there. Serral does finally shove them in. One Swarmos gets trapped, but it burrows. Nice micro by Serral. Does lose a Roach run by in the bottom at the same time. Trying to build a Spire as well. I believe he's preparing for what he thinks will be Liberators coming in. He'll need Corruptors at that point. Roaches all burrowed on the north, looking for a bit of an ambush. Trying to be a bit of a sneaky boy is Serral. He's got a few Banelings in here as well. And new Nydus worms constantly popping up all over the place. +3 armor, +2 vehicle weapons on the way. Now, a lot of players would say this is where you go Libs, Ghosts, BCs, Tanks, Thors. Clem says, Cyclones! What's your strategy, Clem? Cyclones! What's step 2? Cyclones! That's basically what he's saying right now, is he just wants to win with mass Cyclone and a few aliens. He's like, I got a few Widow Mines spread across the map, I guess, but otherwise, he's basically screeching Cyclones, and Serral's having a really hard time of it because his micro is so bloody good. Oh, nice unburrow ambush. Serral says, naughty, naughty, you're trying to do run-bys? You stepped into my trap. Activating the trap card, coming on in. And Serral right now utilizing those mechanics that are rarely seen. Nydus, burrow, popping up and down. The Cyclones are coming in though. And I gotta say, he's just massing 1 unit. What the hell? Serral's gotta be feeling bad.
Terran Imba.
He's not too happy. Terran feeling a little bit imber for him. There's a Ghost transition on the way. That's what has me worried as a Serral fan. Swarmos do manage to escape there from that one. We've got the Roaches down the bottom side as well. Mass Command Center transition behind it. Clem's on the north with a squad and the south with a squad. And these Widow Mines are going to start creating minefields all over the map. But, oh, good micro by Serral. He's going to take out a good number of these Cyclones. Shuts down the south side army. Clem F2s his army to the south. Lingbane Ravager could do a counterattack. Needing Overseers as well. Just another little detail. It's going to be necessary to clean all this up. Burrow into unburrow to break those lock-ons. A very cute maneuver if there's no detection around. Oh, but that was a big, juicy sandwich. And Clem, it's his turn to answer fire with fire.
Get Rex, nerd.
Nydus Worm in the bottom side. We've got a Baneling run by. Maybe could find that worker line. There's nothing defending it. Oh, wait, no. There's Widow Mines everywhere on this map. Hellion run by into Hellbats on the south side. He's also got servos, so they do a very quick transform. And he catches a Masselings in the top. Oh, dude, these trades are starting to get really good for Clem. Even with some good Roach ambushes, Serral is like clinging on for life right now, while Clem, tank goes Cyclone. He doesn't have a lot of Hellions, but he doesn't need them. There's very few Zerglings. He's doing run-bys at the same time. Clem, slow down. What the hell? I'm trying to commentate. You're going to ruin my voice. This is a best of 7. The Hellbats attacking all over the place, and the quick morph ruins the Zerglings. +3 is not there, so they don't one-shot Zerglings, but they still do counter the unit very effectively. Cyclone Ghost Tank baiting Serral in. Serral needs Blinding Clouds. He cannot take this fight till he has Blinding Clouds. He wants to keep the hatchery alive, but the Cyclone locks on and takes it down. And Clem is all over him. Serral's looking incredibly stressed right now. Finally, that Locust flank and the Blinding Cloud comes in from behind. But Clem, he's just constantly reinforcing. He's mass expanding all over the map. And, oh, the Burrowed Banes. Oh, Serral! Serral! Boom! That was pretty decent. It hit the ghosts, it hit the cyclones, it wounded a lot of stuff, but it was only 4 banelings, not enough to kill. Serral is fighting like a bloody beast. He's bringing out all of the things. But these cyclones and ghosts are not that fragile. Hatchery in the north side taking damage. Widowmines in the south landing. Hits 11 kills there, 0 kills there. Hatchery in the north goes down one more time. Vipers, he's only got 2 of them. And man, even the single Hellbat morphs are deadly. Army in the south, sniping the queens. It's just Hellbat Cyclone Ghost now. What the hell? It is so bloody disgusting the way Clem does this. It feels like he's just ahead on everything. There's not much answer. The Widowmine, oh, gets a nice hit on those Zerglings. Clem escapes the clutches of the Zerg. I think he needs another fungal out here or something, but it's just a very tough position to be in. Maybe Lurkers would have been able to stabilize because you can kind of burrow the Lurkers and not look at them. They deal with Cyclones, Hellions, Widowmines very well, and he hasn't really gone to it, right? There's a Great Aspire, so he's thinking about Broodlords. He's still got the Nydus Swarm Host, but it's just been, you know, defused. It hasn't been effective because Clem's been so quick to just react with this hyper-mobile comp, and Battlemech in general is pretty damn well set up to deal with Swarm Hosts. Ravagers trying to bile to keep it back. Snipes are landing. Ravagers are popping. Cyclones getting on top of the Vipers. It's Mass Ravager. Oh no! Serral's trying to cosplay as Reyna right now. Oh my god, he's gone for the Desperation Mass Ravager morph. That is not going to be cost effective. Those units cost as much as Mutalisks, but they fight not that well. And they all go down. Clem. Oh my lord.
They're running, but
All right, guys, going into this now, 1 game away from winning it all. It's going to be a big, giant map. A map which Serral has left to pick until the 5th map in this series. Clem in the top right side, though, only needs 1 game to finish it off. He's representing Team Liquid, and he is looking on another level today. His opponent in the bottom left, he was looking a little frustrated at the start of this game. You can see him fidgeting in his chair. Serral, representing Basilisk. That last game is frustrating for Serral, because I actually think... I don't know if he looked at the replay at all or processed what happened, but he might not realize how greedy Clem's opening was. That 3cc opening was so far beyond greedy. Clem got away with it. That's why he was so well set up to just smother Serral with a surprising amount of numbers, right? The speed of which he expanded, at which he was able to attack and expand and do everything at once. It was all off the back of that greedy opening. If Serral doesn't realize that, he might feel like his confidence is hit. And he's like, wow, all those things I did don't seem to be good enough to beat Clem. And if Clem, I think Clem is very likely to go Battlemech because Altitude is a map playing Bio, pushing across this gigantic expanse, only really works if you're playing like a very multi-prong Bio mine drippy droppy style. A frontal marine tank push, I think, is very weak on this map. There's some decent tank spots, but not amazing. Yeah, there's a few decent tank spots, but definitely one where I think Battlemech just thrives on this map. So keep your eyes open. Factory goes down, no second gas just yet. Tells us that indeed it is going to be a 3 command center opening either way. Nice and greedy. All right, Reaper's coming on forwards, going after those Zerglings. Looks like Zerglings accidentally attacked themselves. I feel like one of them was like a little damaged when he came in here already. Reaper's gonna get a kill. Reaper's gonna get 2 kills. Oh my lord, even a drone gets pulled to fight. Oh god. Okay, nice start for Clem. He wants to try and get the creep tumor, but no. Serral's patient. Clem's such a cheeky bugger. Even when there's the high ground advantage where Clem can't see up that ramp, he's still looking for the tumor snipe. He's such a nasty little guy, man. Right now, guys, we are seeing a lot of tuna spam. Spam this tuna to help Yuna. The entire chat cheering for Yuna Satala to give us more of these fantastic games. They want to see... Why am I saying Yuna? It's Yona. I don't know why I'm reading it out like the Yuna. I don't know. That was a weird way of pronouncing Yona. Anyways, 3rd hatchery is on the way. I guess because I'm writing it with tuna. Tuna. Yuna. Anyways... 3rd command center is on the way. 2nd gas goes down on that natural. Reaper's still being annoying. Hasn't got any creep tumors just yet. Serral doing a rock solid standard opening. He's just put back on gas there. And we'll be saturating that 3rd base in the near future as well. Looks like a Banshee play for Clem yet again. I wouldn't mind a Raven. But no, of course it's a Banshee. We haven't really seen Raven. I really thought we'd see it. Hellion rotating around. Ah, man, I'm so curious because this map I always thought was good for mutas, but I've seen mutas get killed a few times. Oh, it's amazing for roaches actually. Lair and a roach warren goes down. Yeah. So the thing is, if you play bio, how do you defend this third base from a mass roach attack, guys? It's so hard. It's so difficult, especially if you build a lot of depots down there and that sort of stuff. It can be very hard. I mean, banshees can help, of course. The Zerg doesn't have anything that shoots up. Banshees are annoying, but you can kind of just ignore 1 or 2 banshees and swarm on in. Usually Serral plays roaches into Ling Bane later, but he very well may go for a 1-1 kill timing to look for some big damage. What's fascinating, I think, in these games, and what I'm trying to process as I kind of cast this game, because I really am fascinated by this Battlemech style, Clem has actually been doing it in a way where... Oh! Okay, I'll talk about that. I was going to say where his multitasking is really good. Sorry, guys. I'm not getting... I didn't just make that O noise from a single drone kill. It's the production tab. It's bio. It's not mech. And that's really good because Serral is doing an all-in. Serral is going for the German taxi, guys. He's got Overlord speed. He's going to put 4 queens in an Overlord. He's going to bring an Overseer. That's going to shut down the Banshee. And he's going for a big Roach Ravager with a Zergling rally. He's got Ling speed, so he's going to go with about 15, maybe 13, 12 Roaches. Massling behind it. 4 queens in an Overlord. He's going to sneak some Roaches across to start things off. The third base is moving down. There's no tanks building right now. The Banshees are moving forward across the map as well. It's a little annoying because it'll keep Serral pinned for a moment, but for how long? Oh god, the Roach is sneaking across. If they just run in the natural and kill the Marines, it could be game over. Roach speed is not on the way. The Hellions are there. Where are those Banshees? The Banshees are down here. I think the Queen's just picked off into an Overlord. They're trying to fly away right now, but they might have to come back to defend. Nope, Serral says, screw that. Just get to the other side of the map. He gets a Hellion, he gets a Reaper. He's going to morph them all into Ravagers on the front line. Serral is going for broke right now. Bunkers are trying to build. One on the low ground, one on the high ground. Trying to pull back to the high ground. An emergency engineering bay wall off right now. The Roaches should have focused that SCV and then pulled back, I do believe. But that's a lot of Marines, and Marines is not what you want to run into with this build. Serral needs a lot of damage, and he needs it right now. It's a giant map. It's hard to get this in. This would have worked much better if it was mech. It does not work as well in this scenario. He's got to drop some creep with that Overlord so that he can transfuse these Ravagers. Serral massing Lings behind this. Stim is done, though, and there's a tank. There's a tank, a bunker, and 20 Marines. If Clem defends this, he's through to the semi-finals. He might make the impossible happen and actually get through Serral and get to that semi-finals. The Ravagers try to pile down the bunker. They do one-shot it. The Lings try to get on top. The Queens are dropping, but they're getting hammered by the Marine tank fire. Serral trying to do it, but this is such a hard position to break. All the transfuses are gone. The Lings are rallying in that tank on the high ground. It's Sergeant Chadhammer herself. She is smashing the Marines, stim in and start focusing the Ravagers, but that may have been an overextension. Oh my god, Clem may have overextended. The bunker's gone. The SCV line's getting wounded. The Ravagers take out the tank, but wait, there's that tank in the back. Chadhammer's still firing. Chadhammer still has not been hit. Serral needs to take out Chadhammer. She finally falls, but she's got 15 kills. There's only 3 Ravagers and a few Zerglings left. Serral can drone out of this. He can drone out of this and get out of here. I think he's got to back off. Try to get these SCVs. Oh, a few more SCV kills would be game-changing, but Clem was mining the third the whole time with 5 SCVs, and he evacuates all of them. Can you believe it? If Serral had split a single Zergling there, he would have killed 5 more SCVs, and it would be 45 versus 22. As it is, Serral needs to swap back to army production right now, and those Lings need to backstab. Those Lings could have backstabbed right there. He could have ran in. The Marines ran out and got the Ravager. If the Lings went in, or at least some of them, he could have killed 5 more SCVs. That being said, the bunkers were there. Could have picked up and lifted to the high ground. You don't want to let your Lings get trapped. Serral skipping army supply completely. I love it. The greed from Serral's great here. He's building drones. Let's look at the units lost tab after all those battles, by the way. The battle report for that last one. Wow. Apologies for Clem's camera continuing to die. We'll keep fixing that up as we go, guys. But look at that. Very similar resources lost tab. Serral does take an economic advantage. And you know what? Upgrades weren't making that whole time. So I actually think it's playable for Serral. I think it's bad because the army supply is so scary. The 5 medevacs. Serral needs to make a massive army and just try to survive for a little while. Ah, tank on the high ground. Very nicely done there. The SCV's taking some damage. I like the Ling drop. Oh, he uses the Overlord from earlier. It actually gets 5 SCVs there and gets out of there. Serral using all of the tools in both last game and this one. Oh, that is just absolutely essential the way he's playing. But Serral's too low on army supply. He does need to build more roaches if Clem pushes. Like, if Clem grabbed all his marines and went, there's actually not enough roaches to defend. Like, when 1-1 and shields finishes, he's going to need a lot more. On the other hand, trying to take a fourth on the bottom side. This is the logical fourth. He doesn't have enough anti-air to control drops rotating between the high ground and the low ground. So this fourth is indefensible. He has to try to take this one. Even that's going to be hard to defend, but it's better than the other ones. 1-1 and shields isn't done yet. When it's done, there could be problem. Lings come back in. Hey! Okay, he's going to get 1 or 2 SCVs. Oh, but I think that's it. The Overlord will just get out. 3 SCVs for a few Zerglings, though. And distracting Clem. Well worth it. I'd love to see Serral actually queue that up another time. Send 4 Roaches over there or 8 Zerglings and do it. The drop cleaned up the creep on the left side. 1-1 upgrades are on the way for Serral. It's a little behind, but not too far. Serral's got a lot of gas, so if he squeezes out a few Infestors here, that will be a massive comeback unit. Because you know Clem's going to shove you with Marine Tank at some point. He's a Terran player. Clem cannot contain himself, and Serral does it. He queues up 2 Infestors. Oh, I'm so happy right now, guys. A lot of players would have given up in that situation, but I think Serral obviously had a controversial map on this map. Same spawns against Ragnarok where he left early. This time he's not even thinking about it. He's utilizing every tool in the book and fighting his heart out. And I don't think he's massively behind by any means. I still think the army is very scary for the Terran because this is Roach Ravager supply. When you're at even army supply with Roach Ravager versus Marine Tank and they're a few seconds out on the upgrades and there's a good medevac count, your army is lower quality. You've got to try and slow the push down, kind of make him siege up. You can see, here comes Clem's push. The Infestors don't have energy yet, guys. They need another 15 seconds. Serral needs to stay out there and fight this, but Clem's a YOLO Lord. He might just stim on it. Pull back, Serral. Serral needs to pull back. He's baited a stim and forced the siege. He's going to fight here. This is good. The stim will wear off. I think this is really good angling for Serral. Clem's going to try and force the issue, but he hasn't seen the Infestors yet, guys. They're down here on the right, and they've got Fungal. One Fungal could end this game! Oh! It's an Omega Fungal! Serral with the big juicy all over Clem's face! Oh my god! Absolutely savage! And that completely turns this game upside down!
Get wrecked, nerd.
Oh my god! What the hell?
Wow, that's a fair unit.
What?
Wow, that's a fair unit.
Oh, it is! Dude, you clumped 60 Marines into Fungal. You can't complain. But Clem's not backing up yet. He's still trying to push in. The Mad Lad is still going to try to push in despite that Fungal. He knows that Serral is a little light on the damage output with the Roach Ravager army. And he keeps on trying to get something done. And Armory goes down behind it. It's plan B. And Ling's going to come in, try and deny that depot. Serral going Hydra Den, Lurker Den. He's going to try and play Lurker Viper from here. Makes sense, but that's a composition which struggles with mobility, and this is a big, wide open map. So I do think Clem has a chance to get back in it. He's building a 4th command center. He's building a 2nd factory. He's going to try and go for double tank production. He's adding his +2 weapons. Doesn't have enough money for +2 armor yet. And of course, the 2-2 already halfway done, or even further with the carapace for Serral. Dude, that Fungal was absolutely epic. That was so damn good, man. Now, when you play Roach Ravager, Fungal is very good because the one weakness is the mobility of those Marines stimming around a big ball and catching you off. But the moment your opponent knows that they've got to be afraid of Fungal, the Terran has to be much more careful with their movement. So even if you never land a big Fungal like that, once Terran knows it, they're like, oh god, okay, I can't ever have a big blob of 60 Marines just running around the map in a ball, or I'm going to get punished super hard. People making fun of Clem's headset to head ratio. That's like, I think that photo's from when Clem was 16 or 17 at most, so I think it was actually legitimately a giant headset and a weird angle on the photo. Anyways, we've got Lurker Den on the way, Sensor Towers. He's going to try and get some more barracks so we can get into like Marauders and Ghosts, but this first Lurker timing with Seismic Spines when +2 range kicks in, he's got +3 carapace. I feel like if Serral can just squeeze out 2 Vipers, he's got gas for it. If I were him, I'd definitely be killing Roaches, but he's swapping Baneling? He's going to swap into Lurker Ling Bane. Oh. Okay. So for those who don't know, Serral very rarely finds himself in this sort of situation. And I sometimes think a weakness of his is late game transitions from weird games. Because he plays the same style like 96% of the time. So when he does play roaches this long, it's different to what he normally does. And his transition is a little bit derpy here. I actually really feel he should not bother with the Ling transition until he gets the Vipers. Like, Vipers are the most important part to abduct the siege tanks, because you know your opponent's going to be very tank focused here. He could already be going for a Viper Lurker timing, but he's letting Clem buy time. And this is the other weakness of Serral's play, which is lack of killer instinct. Serral is fantastic at defending and slowly choking his opponent out, but he'll never go for the big finishing move, very rarely. You know, don't get me wrong, he'll do a big Nydus all in like he did, but Lurkers, it's going to be a good push timing, but how do you break an entrenched tank position without Vipers? You're going to have to catch him out of position, which is very possible, but 2 Vipers maxing out on energy right now would turn this into a much stronger maneuver. So I think Serral, let's see what he can do with it. I don't want to be too judgmental. Oh, Serral's trying to block the gold base, guys. Serral was trying to do a very fancy move we've never seen in pro play. I'll explain it to you in a minute. He might do it later in this game. The Marines are going to come in looking for the base snipe. They get a lurker, they get 2. Oh my god! Clem punishing him! And, okay, so Serral needs to split his infestors. He needs 1 on either side of the map to punish this move. Clem realizes the infestors were both on the other side of the map, and he's just like, okay, cool, I'll just be crazy then. The infestors are actually far forward right now, not able to punish, and oh my god, Clem doing some masterful attacks also with no Vipers. Notice he doesn't have any anti-air. He can't get rid of this. Oh, big juicy lands again. He chains it. The hatchery and 8 drones go down, so I think Clem might be okay with the trade, but that was definitely a big juicy. The other infestor is far forward on the map, and oh my god, no. You mad dog, Clem! Oh, I'm looking at Serral's face right now to see if there's a reaction, because already he was, like I said, not having that killer instinct a little bit, and now he loses 2 bases. Clem is just buying time. That's all he's trying to do, is drag the game out, because he knows he's way behind, and he's just like, we've got to extend the game, extend the game. The roaches are getting worse the longer this game goes. The lurkers are going to be really bad versus Masco's tank. And what have we seen in the last year of StarCraft 2, guys? Zerg players are too stubborn to make Broodlords when they should. Oh, Serral's going for a big thrust. Let's go! Shoves through the middle, catches 3 tanks in the open. Oh my god, he may have found the weakness. There's a lot of tanks on the bottom. There's a lot of tanks on the top. They're not here right now. Fungal goes down on a lot of these ghosts. There's still a bunch of ghosts left. It does look like, I think Clem holds on, but he loses a lot of units here. He's trying to unload. Biles are landing, take it out. Medevacs, the full medevac. The medevac had the Marines in it, went down. These tanks are in range. Clem doesn't have scans, guys. He finally gets a scan, but he didn't have it for a long time there. There's a lurker ready that could be dropping in the back door. If Serral unloads that in the back door, that would be massive right now. That would be absolutely massive. That lurker, oh, he's forgotten about it. If that drop was in there at the same time, you know Clem would be taking even more damage, as it was a successful attack. A very good attack, I think, for Serral. Still got these Overlords and Overseers in the back. 5th base going up for free in the top left. Serral's going to find it with that Zergling and immediately go shut that down. For now, he's making a Viper, but only one just now. And your opponent's on Mass Tank Ghost, it's Broodlord time. Mass Tank Ghost is hard countered by Broodlords. The Lurker and the Overlord does go down. There is no Great Aspire on the way. There's also no +2 melee. Serral still might be able to just do it with Lurker, Viper, Ling mobility. He absolutely can. He's way up in supply. There's not many scans. There's not many units. Clem's tanks and ghosts trying to come back from that left side. There's an infestor, but it gets caught by the missile turret. Not able to surprise him. Lurkers are in the base. He needs to split the lurkers into the mineral lines. The ghosts are going to try and come down there. The Overseer providing some good vision. A few snipes do land, but look at that. That base should be getting ransacked right now. Serral jumping into the natural. Oh, he shoots down one of the medevacs that tries to boost. Clem was trying to rotate his units back into the natural to defend, stalling out the advance, but Serral, ooh, the German taxi hoping to catch out a mech build, runs into Bio. A tank killed like half of Serral's army. It looked like Serral was getting shut down, but by golly, did he land some of the biggest, juiciest fungals in that game. That was absolutely savage. Still just one game away from winning it all, guys. In the bottom right side, we've got Clem. And in the top left side, we've got Serral. Now, guys, there's actually a really funny thing that Serral was trying to do in that last game with the gold base. I didn't get to explain it. So on that last map, basically there is a gold base, right, next to the watchtower. And what happens is if you break the destructible rock tower, it collapses rocks onto this, which kill the watchtower. You can then break the rocks and take the gold base as normal. However, if you build a structure and let it get at least 500 hit points, which is the amount of damage the falling rocks do, then when you break the rocks, they can't materialize. So what happens is it'll do 500 damage to the Evo chamber, and the watchtower doesn't die. So the Evo chamber or the hatchery, you can then cancel that or whatever, and basically the watchtower becomes unkillable for the rest of the game. So what Serral was doing is he was trying to force the watchtower to become unkillable so that he could have that all game, and it would also potentially deny a base from being built right next to the minerals. Very cool move, but of course he got denied as those Marines came in and killed the Evo chamber before Serral could pull that off. But it was basically just preparing to make sure the watchtower doesn't get killed for super late game. Chat saying the watchtower does die. No, if you have a building on 500 hit points, it does not. Yeah. People are saying the watchtower does die. Unless they changed it on the ESL map version. But on ladder, it doesn't. Yeah. Unless they changed it on ladder as well. Because yeah, because the whole point is if you have the building. I remember, well, on day one we tested that. Unless they changed it. Yeah. The tower dies, but the building doesn't? Wait, it dies, but why would you do it then? It kills his building and makes the whole process faster? Oh, because it stops the rocks from materializing, so you don't need to kill the rocks. Okay. All right, so it's just to stop you killing the rocks. Ah, right. Okay, yeah, my brain's smart. So then you don't have to go through that whole process. All right, yep, it was a while ago. My bad, guys. Thank you very much, chat, for clearing that one up. Great casting here from Pig. Let's keep talking about the game, hey? You guys keeping me honest. Thank you very much. 3 command center build there. Going down for Clem. Serral very solid so far. Reaper didn't find any damage this game. Looks pretty standard openings for both sides. Serral, 1 worker on gas. Queen on the edge. Reaper jumps in, Reaper jumps out. Surprised so many people actually knew how that mechanic works on this map. Apparently Serral's done it on his stream a few times as well. Awesome. I haven't seen anyone do it in pro play at all. No one's gotten to the gold base on altitude. It gets vetoed so much in tournaments. But on ladder games, it makes sense that players would actually be... Obviously, you don't have as many... You're not vetoing as often. You're running into more mirror matchups as well, where you're going to be utilizing that. And check it out, guys. Second barracks. Clem. Bio play here. We haven't really seen much Bio versus Ling Bane, have we? Not since Babylon. Game 2 in this series. Roach Warren goes down for Serral. Serral, remember I talked earlier today about how Serral has been saying on his stream he's stressed out playing Ling Bane versus Bio and that Roaches is more relaxing. After that last game, especially after those big juicy fungals, I think he's like, heck yeah, let's do this, man. This makes things way more simple. Of course, those fungals, I don't think you're going to land those too many times in one day. I don't think this is a committed attack, is it? It is. It is 40 drones. Oh god, is Serral doing the Ragnarok build? No, he's queuing up too many drones. Okay, he was queuing so many overlords. Serral's kind of missed micro. I think he was planning to do a big roach attack, but now he's just droning. Okay, so Serral just built a few extra overlords ahead of time. It's a little inefficient, but not too bad. Got a nice quick lair and second gas on the way. And he is completely skipping roach production. He's got nothing but queens and zerglings. If Clem dives, he's going to find a lot of drone kills. But if he doesn't dive, Serral gets away with being quite greedy here. And I like it. Serral's usually so overly safe. Look at that. Quick Evo chamber reaction. He relies on his Evo chambers. A few slowlings in the wall. The queens are also making it really hard for the Hellions to rotate as well. I'd like to see these queens split 2 there and 2 up there on that high ground would be the best way to do it. Already taking the rich gas. Serral, hello? Serral is already taking the front rich base gas. Oh my. That's a very exposed one, but Ravagers are so good at defending tank pushes up the middle on this map. And that's going to allow you to get a lot of gas. I think he's going to skip Infestors this game and go straight to Lurker Viper. Because that gas counts as 2 gases. So it just allows him to basically get 3 extra effective drones worth of mining. This is a really good play. Double drop moves out the left side. Third base is up and mining. There is 7 roaches out. Roach speed started very early. No Evo chambers just yet. There we go. Triple Evo? What? What is this build? Is this a Rainer build? People are saying this is a Rainer build. No. Okay, oh, that's an... Wait, that's an infestation pit. Never mind. Okay, it's a double Evo. Never mind, guys. I was excited for a second. I was like, that makes no sense. Why would you play triple Evo? No, it's for a quick hive. He's going to try and get the Vipers up. I got excited for no reason. I've been casting for many hours. The games have been absolutely bloody exciting. I mean, these guys are just savages. And Hydroden, yeah, he's going to go real quick Viper Lurker. Guys, this Lurker timing is going to be deadly. Clem is very weak at early Lurker timings because he never has enough scans to deal with it. Not to mention, this one's just going to be surprising. He has no idea this is happening. Serral's opening is monstrous. This is a beautiful, beautiful opening. Whee. Armory, second factory on the way as well. We've got 2 more reactors coming. Tank on the left side, just stuck there, hanging out. Guys, Rando Calrissian apparently is driving a siege tank on this map. Let's hope Clem finds that guy. Come on, Clem. Don't leave him behind. Okay, he finds it. That's good. That's good. 4th command center's on the way. You do want to take these rocks out, remember, guys. You want to take those rocks out as the Terran player so you can tuck your tanks in here. Something we haven't seen Clem do just yet, but I'd like to see him add that in. He scans! He scans, guys. He sees the Lurker Den, and the Lurker Den, even though he doesn't know the hive's about to finish, he can see the Lurker Den's almost done, and that should indicate, oh god, this is so fast. Immediately, Ghost Academy going down. He realizes he's going to need Ghosts for those EMPs, because there's going to be Vipers coming in real early. Link Speed's on the way as well. Has forgotten 2-2, has Mr. Clement. Needs those 2-2 upgrades. There we go. +2 attack does start. Hopefully he remembers +2 armor in the near future. His drops have not found any real damage in this game just yet. Lurkers are morphing. 2 Vipers on the way and Seismic Spines. This is a disgustingly early timing. Clem finally finds his first pickoffs of the game. A single Hydralisk and damages a Roach. Roach is on the right side. Gonna trade okay versus those Marines. Force them off for now. A few more Lurkers are coming in. 4th command center is going to float forward. I think this is all just about surviving for now. Getting up tanks, getting up ghosts, and seeing what you can do. 3 Tac Labs finish in about 15-20 seconds. Then he'll start his first ghost. Roaches come up, but the Marines actually make quick work of them. Chase them off. Marines on the left side also looking all right. Of course, Serral's mixing in Zerglings for a very good reason, guys. Those Zerglings are much heavier on the minerals than the gas. They're going to allow him to work his way into those gas-heavy units. Queens in the main say, no, no, no. Clem is forced to back out of here. Neo-Humanity looking like a scary place for Terran. That 4th base is wide open. Oh, God! And pre-9-minute Lurker range timing with 2 Vipers. The Blinding Cloud is absolutely devastating. Serral brings out some disgustingly quick hive tech. I don't think, even with the scan of the hive, he had any idea this would happen. The drop in the top gets cleaned up as well. That is savage, mate. That is absolutely redonkulous. The unit's just cascading into the natural expand. Mass Roach behind it. If Clem was spread and sieged and mentally prepared, he might have been okay, but as it is, he's getting wiped, man. That's way too much damage. 18 SCVs. There's a Lurker on the 3rd base as well. Unfortunately, the Lurker on the 3rd is not hitting into the center of the mass of the SCVs. He needs a scan. He needs a scan. Oh, he needs a scan. Oh my god. Okay, finally gets energy to scan, but there's Mass Roach coming in. And Serral says, "Thy name is Yuna Satala, and I'm here to take your soul. I'm here to take your resources, man." Oh, Clem cannot be happy with how this is going.
Hey, leave me alone.
Serral is all over him. He's just swarming. The Vipers have still got energy for more Abducts or Blinding Clouds. It's 2-2 versus 1-1. Serral never even started 2-2. This was a 1-1 Lurker Viper rush. This is such a well-planned timing attack. Perfect for the map. And I'm telling you, mate, it's hard to stop the Night King when he gets going. We are going to see a Game 7, ladies and gentlemen. Clem is finding out that there are some things in this world that are impossible to fight.
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming indeed. We are getting a Game 7 and I'm bloody hyped! Holy crudsicles. That was a dirty time and completely caught him off there. That was, that's one that you're not expecting. And catches him completely off guard. Up here in the top right, we have Team Liquid's Clem. His camera keeps disconnecting for whatever reason, guys, so I think we'll probably just leave it on this one. We'll see. I don't know if he actually refreshed it or not. Yeah, it looks like it's not working right now, so that's fine. Serral in the bottom left representing Basilisk. Royal Blood to decide the entire thing. Game 7. And this is why we do best of 7s. This is why we smash, smosh. Because we want to see back and forth. We want to see the chance for those comebacks. This could have been a 3-1 for Clem. Actually, wait, was he up 3-0? I'm actually forgetting right now. When Serral... Yeah, wasn't he up 3-0? I feel like... And then Serral won with the Nydus, right? Or maybe the Nydus was game 3, actually. I think the Nydus was game 3. Then Clem swarmed in with Battlemech on Gressven. Yep. So yeah. There was the Nydus game 3. So it hasn't been a complete straight reversal. But, I mean, Clem has been in the lead for a while now. He's just lost 2 games in a row. And I really wonder, what do you go to? Biomine? Biotank? Do you risk going mech? Do you think you can play mech against Serral, the mech killer? Is your confidence buoyed by what happened on Gressven? Or is this map a bit too hard to make it work with some of these ramp positionings being a little bit awkward for Battlemech, where you keep getting ambushed on these choke points? This is, of course, a pull first with a very early gas for Serral. Clem scouts, and he's going to be really happy he did that. But he doesn't realize that with such quick ling speed, Serral could do a little bit of a ling flood and look for a surround maybe on some Hellions, maybe get a few of those SCVs early on. Clem famous for going out with his Reaper to try and hunt the Zerglings down on the map, rather than sitting at home and playing safe. But Serral's famous for going pull first and only building 2 lings. So if there's anyone who you're going to risk doing it against, Serral's probably the guy. Clem scouting for a 3rd base with his SCV right now, not seeing it. 6 more lings are on the way. If the SCV catches wind of that, that'll be big. But Serral, his Overlord has seen the SCV, I believe. Uh-oh. No, he hasn't. He doesn't know about it. Oh, Serral hides the lings. He just sends 2 out to hunt the SCV. Reaper's coming forwards across the map. Lings waiting on the right side. It's just 8 Zerglings. It's not a big count. But if he can just surround the Reaper, get an SCV or 2 on the low ground, that'll be good. The Marine going back to the high ground. Good safe call for him. This SCV trying to escape. Clem running towards the Zerglings, guys. A true Terran player runs towards the threat. Sees Ling speed kick in. Time to get out of there. Reaper's going to use the ledge over here to potentially run away. Oh! And he's going to go down. Nice catch. Lings run in on the other side, but 2 Marines pop out on the outside. And Serral gets 2 SCVs. 1 on the map, 1 in the natural. For his trouble, he also delays the Hellion production, but Starport's on the way before 3rd Command Center, so Clem not as vulnerable to this as he was in the previous games. On the other hand, Clem is so much more comfortable playing 3 Command Center than this opening. I think Serral might be okay with what's happened, but a little late on that inject. Very uncharacteristic for Serral, floating 10 energy before injecting his natural. It's not the sort of small slip-up you see from Serral too often. Nerves are going to be running hot. Clem attacks his own Marine as well. Both of these guys are nervous as all hell. I mean, I think that they've still got fighting words, though. You know, are we going to all be marching down to the marketplace down in Finland at the end of this game? Or are people going to be raising their baguettes up in triumph? I do not know. Hellions going down the right side. He hasn't seen where the 3rd is. He finds out now that it's probably over to the left. 3rd Command Center going down in the wall at 420. More Hellions coming forward. It's going to be a Liberator opening for Clem. Ooh, first Liberator test in this game. Problem, Serral's going to see it. We're on Serral's camera. Liberator's going to go past that Zergling on the right side of the minimap. And no, he actually doesn't see it. Clem steered around it. He probably saw the Zergling. Liberator has longer sight range, and he actually repositioned it. So the Lib has not been spotted. It'll get spotted over here by this Overlord. And Serral won't have a lot of time to react. Serral's going Lair and Baneling Nest. Hasn't really seen too much of what's going down. These Hellions still not finding any big pickoffs. It's just been 3 Zerglings for a Reaper and 2 SCVs. Up 9 SCVs is Clem right now. Looking to build on that. The Hellions threaten at the front. They pull Serral's attention away. And that opens up the opportunity. Ooh, slightly slow reaction for Serral there. Loses 3 drones. Liberator immediately bypasses the Spore. Other Queens in position though. Hellions on the left side are blocked. Serral, fantastic Queen positioning. Ooh, that drone stumbles into Liberator range. He is getting zoned though. And the Queen and the Spore will push that Liberator out of there. Oh, nice siege though. Queen's off creep. Queen will go down. Whoa, Serral says no, pig. I'm too quick for that. Takes 2 shots, but does not fall. Hellions still looking for an opening and not finding anything. They get a creep tumor, but overall, very good defense by Serral. Clem, he's got his double upgrades. He's got his 3 racks pumping. Liberator comes in. He's going to get 1 drone. Pulls away, but the Liberator's getting very low. This is the point where you just get out of there, save the Liberator, repair it, come back another day. But no, he wants more. Clem's getting greedy, and he might lose the Liberator for that. But nope, he slips out very well at microed. How many units has he lost? Still nothing except that early game. Just the Reaper and the SCVs from the start. 1-1 upgrades are well ahead. The Evo chambers are now finished for Serral, but he's a little behind on saturating the gases. Of course, was very busy scrambling to defend that pressure. And these Zerglings will get cleaned up. Hellions are on top of it. Does Serral know it's Bio? I think you can assume it's Bio. I mean, he's playing as if it is. He's just playing standard Ling Bane, double upgrades. Don't think he's too worried about mech. Feels like Clem only confident playing mech against Serral when he has a super greedy surprise build on Gressfin. Massling run by getting ready on the left side. Serral! Oh! He's playing the Clem counter build. I talked earlier today about how the best way to counter Clem, mass lings off 67 drones, or even 60 is what I said, 4 gases. He's gone a little bit higher, but off 4 gas, and then get a giant backstab ready and smash his natural as he's attacking the side. This is one of the best ways to kill top Terrans because they always attack with their first Stim Marines and Medevacs, and their upgrades finishing, and that leaves them wide open at home. And backstabbing is usually the secret to taking out Clem. Serral might just get him with one fell swoop, one big backstab. Is he gonna get in? The depot is down! The depot is down! The Lings are in! Oh god, oh god! It's a disaster for Clem. The Lings and the Banes are in the mineral lane. Can he get a big juicy? Clem runs the SCVs, but they are still very clumped. An emergency spready for Clem. He's microing in the front at the same time. The SCVs are somehow alive. How the hell did he not lose his SCVs? Clem! What did you just do? What did you just do? How did you not lose any SCVs? How did you do that?
Nice try.
Nice try! Soft-spoken but deadly. More Lings coming in though. It's not over till it's over. He kills the 4th. He's breaking the Queens on the front. Serral continuing to backstab. He knows he needs to do more damage. Success may lie within the chaos. The Queen's trying to fight right now. Lings are in the natural. Damage is starting to stack up. He's going to have to get those SCVs out of there. There's only a few Marines. The SCVs having to turn and fight, and that is not good for him. But on the other side, the Bailey Nest is almost down. Tanks marching forward. Serral is forcing Clem to commit deep, and I think Clem might be going a little bit too deep. I think he should pull out of here. This is way too deep in Serral's territory. Serral's going to get a clean up on this, and he's got a new 4th on the left side. 65 workers to 52 favors Serral. Serral's also got 2-2 on the way, and look at that. He's going to clear this position. Oh, Clem focuses the Banelings, but he loses a lot of units to the Lings around. The Liberator and the tanks go down, and Serral doesn't find great success with the first backstab, but the second one does it. He says, nice try, mate. Come on, you can't stop this. I am going to keep on playing this action-packed backstab style, and it's a great way to take the wind out of Clem's sails. Clem knows only one gear, and that is attack. Under pressure, in an emergency. You get Clem's heart beating, what does he do? He attacks. He's attacking right now with 7 Marines and a siege tank. This is the most Clem thing I've ever seen, guys. He does not know how to put it back in his pants, and that's what Serral's playing to, because he's got yet another backstab ready. He knows that Clem's going to keep overcommitting to the aggression, but, oh god, he's so good at it. He gets a cancel. Not even a cancel, sorry, a kill on the 5th base. There's still a tank covering. Only 3 SCVs die at home. On the left side, Lings do get the tank, but great focus fire. Tank takes out quite a few Banelings. Marines escape out the left side. Serral is not finding a chance to get past 3 base saturation. 64 drones. Lings in the bottom right get hammered by the Marines, and that single Hellbat is up to 6 kills. Probably a lot more as this game goes on. The 5th base unable to be secured. The creep spread not looking that fantastic. The far left and the far right are both very exposed. And look at that. Drop comes in. Nice little distraction. Gonna go after the Queens, but the Banelings, watch out, Clem. Takes a Baneling. A couple Marines do go down. He's rallying though now. Clem has his own 2-2 upgrades on the way. They're a little behind Serral, but that has not materialized into an upgrade advantage just yet. Clem is bouncing right now. That drop on the right side is just a big old distraction. Serral is down in supply by about 20 on the army supply, and he stopped doing run-bys because that tank on the high ground made it so he can't really find any more. Now that Clem knows about the constant run-bys, they're not working. Serral backs out of them. He's going to have to set up a flank. He's going to go again with some units, but there's still a tank on that high ground with 19 kills. And this army here is setting up a deadly position. Serral setting up a flank on the right to try and get the tank. A good idea. I like the spread of units from Serral. Can he get a juicy surround? Hatchery on the bottom right is going to get cancelled one more time. Massive Queens up front. All 10 Queens are sitting up front right now. Serral's not injecting his hatcheries. I think he's already queued up enough injects that it doesn't matter, but we'll see how it goes. Hatchery's going to go down. Serral coming in from all sides. The Lings on the far right, a little bit slow to the party though, and it looks like this is a bit disjointed. Serral in a bit of disarray, guys. He may have defended the bottom right side, But that right flank did not come in all at once. He had 2-2 verse 1-1, but he was not synced up enough. Clem will not let him break this position, and that tank is doing so well. Serral comes in with Lings one more. He can get the friendly fire. That's going to do decent damage if he spreads the Lings, but Serral not able to micro it. There's too much going on right now. The tank actually unsieges. Clem realizing he was doing a lot of friendly fire there. I wouldn't mind a situation here where Clem drops a 4th command center. He's been all aggression, all non-stop. He's on 2-2 versus 2-2. The window is closed to get that big fight. I really feel Serral could have maybe forced that fight better if he flanked just with all of his units at once, but he didn't come in with everything at once because Clem keeps the multi-prong pressure on. This multitasking is absolutely wild. Clem is a force to be reckoned with. He is wielding Terran with the multitasking of a man that does not know the limits of the Terran mechanical skill ceiling. He says skill ceiling, what skill ceiling? Shatters right through it and says the only thing that can stop you is your old and frail hands, other Terran players, but not me. I'm doing fine. 13 SCVs go down to a Baneling run by. Clem's down to 39 workers. He needs more damage. Serral has butchered Clem's economy, but Clem's army supply continues to grow. His trading is out of this world. 15,000 or 14,000, sorry, versus 9,000 in favor of Clem. Serral tries to retake a hatchery to the front. 4 base versus 3 base. And of course, a 22 worker lead. That sounds good for the Zerg, especially with the Hive. Baneling Nest goes down, doesn't matter. He's got a new one that he built earlier in the back of his base, so that doesn't really affect anything just yet. Marines getting in the natural is the bigger problem, and these tanks, look at the tanks! Oh my god, those tank positions are insane! Oh, Serral gets an ambush on the right side. Great hot pickup saves most of the Marines, but not all of them. Serral gets an incredible fight here, pulls back. He's got to deal with this side. Those 3 tanks, though, how do you ever kill those tanks? I feel like Clem has just found a disgusting position that Terran almost never gets to, but when they get to it, what do you even do? The Zergs, oh, there's no Marines on the back, though. There's no Marines guarding the right. The Lings will finally break that position. Banelings! Oh my god, he just took out so many Banelings before they got in, and the Marines take advantage of the opening. Clem stabs from the right, steps from the left, and he will not give up that advantage. Clem with some of the most ridiculous, overwhelming play. What in the hell? That was absolutely ridiculous.
How does that baguette taste?
Oh, Clem. Oh, come on, be a good sport, you psycho.